Hello students. So now in the continuation of my discussion on the important topics of the mains examination 2022, today I am going to talk about the three important topics. The first one is virtual private network. Along with this, I will talk about abortion and MGNREGA. So these are the three topics which I am going to cover, and in every topic I have attached one question that I will discuss with you. So now, first of all, we will understand that what is the significance of understanding about the virtual private network. So I will say that this question can be asked in GS paper 3, that is your science and technology portion, or this question can be asked in GS paper 2 when the question is on the data governance. Or it may also be like this, that the UPSC will not ask a separate question on virtual private network, but that can be used as a case study in internal security under GS paper 3 or in any question on the data sovereignty in GS paper 2. So now we will understand what is virtual private network and what is the rule which has been just addressed by the Ministry of Electronics and Communication with respect to the regulation of VPN. And then the main question is why the government has brought this rule, because what I expect that if the question comes from VPN, then this will be the implicit or explicit part of that question. Then we will see that how does this rule impact the IT sector and what is going on in another countries with respect to the virtual private network. So now, as you can see that there is one diagram which you can use in your examination, and after that in any question coming from VPN you will have to introduce that question. So for the definition I can simply give you a definition जो कि तुम रट लो and you can reproduce in the examination. But here we need to understand the virtual private network. The very first thing, that it is a network, it means that the messages are being sent or being received. Now the question arises that how the messages are being sent or received. It is being done through some private network, and whenever you are using this virtual private network, then this particular thing is making, or you can say is hiding your address, is hiding your IP address, and whenever you are surfing anything online, then no one can see except you that what you are doing. And to better understand this VPN, just understand the Tata company have offices. Okay, Tata company have their offices in Jamshedpur, Tata company have their offices in Pune, they have their offices in Lucknow, they have their offices in Mumbai. So basically they can easily communicate through the public network that is open for everyone, that is through internet. This is one option, but we know that there are a lot of things that should be secret amongst the corporates, and for that, to connect or to communicate between the different offices of the Tata, they are using some private networks. And this private network is being used by them so that the communication is saved, or the privacy of the communication is upheld amongst the people who are communicating in that particular network. It is also like this, for example, it is also like this, that this is an air space. This is an air space. So whenever you are taking Indigo flight, where everybody, all the public are boarding on the Indigo flight and using this airspace, but some of the dignitaries are using the chartered plane. Okay, so this person who is moving in this chartered plane is a private person, but he is using this airspace, but nobody knows that who is in this chartered plane. So this is kind of providing you a disguise or a kind of filter whenever you are doing something privately. So this is VPN. But the question arises that what are the advantages of virtual private network? Why the people or the corporates are using this VPN? This is very important. And for the definition and for the introduction of any question on VPN, you can use this, that VPN encrypt your internet traffic and disguise your online identity. This is the thing which I was talking about. So now we will see that what is the advantages of virtual private network. So the very first advantage of virtual private network is it secures encryption. And undoubtedly, whenever we are talking about encryption, it is providing you privacy. The second is it secures, or you can say it ensures safe data transfer. It ensures safe data transfer. Third thing, you can access the remote or local content. What is the meaning of this? For example, if you are in India, you are using the VPN and you are having an access to all the materials available in India. But now you have shifted to Singapore. Then if you want to access the local content of the Singapore, then we will use VPN as spoofing tool. And by using this, you can change your location on your mobile or on your laptop, and you can use it very effectively in Singapore also. Then the next advantage is kill switch. Kill switch. Kill switch means simply that if two persons are communicating, then if third person is entering into the communication, and if you are using a good VPN, then that good VPN will recognize that somebody is entering into your communication. So this is very important advantages of the VPN. And the best VPN or the best example of the VPN I can give is of Netherlands company, that is NordVPN. Okay, NordVPN is a very big company of the virtual private network. Now, after understanding the basics of the VPN, the question arises that what is the new rule? So, new rule is telling that whatever information is on the VPN, it should be saved for 5 years. That is the responsibility of the companies like NordVPN to store the data available on their VPN for 5 years. And in case of any security breach, you will have to inform the CERT in Computer Emergency Response Team within 6 hours. So this is the two rules which is being said by the Ministry of Electronics and Communication. Now everybody will write about the particular rules and everything, but the question is, if I ask you why the government has brought such rules, this is very important, that why the government has brought such rules. So now to understand or to answer this question, I will say that this VPN is used for piracy. The very, or you can say one of the problems with the VPN which we have seen is piracy of films, piracy of any content which has the copyright and all. So piracy is happening on this VPN network. Then the second is, if you know about the data localization principle, or in simply I will say that if the data is produced locally, it should be stored locally also. So this is one of the feature of data protection, or you can say draft data protection bill 2018 and 2019 also. So it is against the idea of data localization. What is happening that this big company like Microsoft, Amazon is trying to disguise this requirement of data localization, and using this VPN network, they are taking all the data from India using this virtual private network, and it will result into a kind of data colonialism. Data colonialism. Okay, so maybe after 20 years, the government needs to give money to buy the data from this corporate entity. So this question, or this poses a question on the sovereignty of the country. So if you know the concept of sovereignty, that the state is sovereign in deciding its executive, legislative or the foreign policy, so this is against the idea of the data sovereignty of any particular country. And you will be surprised to know, and there is a global VPN index. There is a global VPN index. According to this index, India is the second country in the world using virtual private network, and 25% of all the smartphone users are using VPN on their smartphones. So this matter has become a grave concern for the authorities because of the number or the increasing number of users also. So this is the reason that such rules have been brought. Clear? Now we will see the next part, that what is the impact of such rules. The impact of such rules, we have seen that it will impact the IT industry. And it will impact the IT industry in the terms that some of the virtual private network organizations have already declared that they will leave or they will close the operations in India and they will operate from Singapore now. But it seems that they have not studied the rule carefully, because the government has clearly said, no matter where your organization has been set up, you will have to follow these rules if you want to operate a business either virtually or physically present in India. So this will impact in the terms of employment also, because when these people or when this organization will move to the another country, it will question or it will create a problem of rising unemployment also. Then it will have an issue on the new investment from the IT sector from European countries. These are the different problems which, or you can say this will be the impact of the rules. But if you will see, then in the Belarus, China, Russia, North Korea, Iraq, Saudi, in all these countries, the use of VPN is either prohibited or regulated. So these are the informations which you can use in your mains examination. And the PDF is being provided with this video, and it is available on our Telegram channel, that is IAS 360. Okay. Now we will move to the next topic. But before that, I just want that you should see this question. Virtual private network on the one hand ensures privacy, but often fraught with different challenges discussed. So in this question, you will have to simply introduce that what do you understand by VPN. So this is called as a definition based introduction. This is called as definition based introduction. Or the second way of introduction is, you can say that the new rules of meeting. New rules of meeting. So basically this is called as contextual way of introducing the question. So once you have introduced the question, then you will highlight that how it maintains privacy. In this you can say hiding the IP address, encryption. These are the two main features of the privacy in virtual private network, and you will define that, and then you will address this third part, that what are the different challenges. Then you can talk about piracy, data colonialism, data localization, data sovereignty. These are the challenges with the VPN, and then you will talk about the new rules of the government, and then you can conclude that that's not an issue, that if the government is bringing the rules, but they should discuss with the private organization, because it impacts investment, it creates a social problems like employment. So these are the things which you can mention in this particular question. Now we will move to the next one, that is abortion. So everybody, or I got a lot of messages on the Telegram, sir, kindly discuss Roe versus Wade judgment of US. Try to understand that yes, the context of understanding the abortion laws in India is Roe versus Wade judgment in the US. I will talk about that. But most importantly, what is important for you, that you should know that what are the laws in India with respect to abortion. And if you know this, then according to the Lancet report, around 15 million abortion is happening in India per year. 15.6 million abortion happening per year. And you will be surprised to know that according to WHO, 70% of rural India does not have gynec doctors or gyno doctors. So in this condition, you can understand that what is the situation of abortion in India, because unsafe abortion lead to maternal mortality. And just looking into the link between the unsafe abortion and maternal mortality, India has devised a law in 1971, that is Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. We will talk about MTP Act 1971, which has been amended in 2021. But before that, I just want to talk about Roe versus Wade judgment of 1973. Okay, which has been struck down by 6-3 majority recently by US Supreme Court. So what was in the Roe versus Wade judgment is that in this particular judgment, it has been decided that the women in US will have the right to terminate the pregnancy. Will have the right to terminate the pregnancy. Okay? And the idea of giving her right to terminate comes from 14th Amendment Act of USA, that talks about the privacy or bodily integrity of a woman. The same thing has been said by the Indian Supreme Court in Puttu Swami case. In this way, you will have to interlink the things. Now, once the US has said that about the US women that they can terminate the pregnancy, they have said so on the concept of fetal viability. What is this? Fetal viability. What is this? It means that this is the time till which you can go for abortion. Or you can say fetal viability means that after which, or after this time period, a fetus can survive outside the womb. If the fetus can survive outside the womb, then you cannot go for the abortion, or you can understand like this, that you can go for abortion once you reach the time of fetal viability. And at the time of 1973, the fetal viability was more than 27 weeks. So basically what was happening at that time, I am telling that earlier the fetal viability, or the time period of the fetal viability, was long. Okay. But with the coming of technology, the fetal viability or the gestation period is becoming lesser day by day. Clear? It's coming lesser day by day. अब नहीं समझे तुम तो ऐसे समझो. Fetal viability means that you can go for abortion till the date on which the fetus can survive outside the womb. तो इसका मतलब हो गया कि अगर बच्चा जन्म होता है और वुम्ब से निकल जाता है, उसके पहले तक आप एबॉर्शन करा सकते हैं, उसके बाद नहीं करा सकते. This is the concept which is being used by each and every country across the world. So at that time, they have come to the conclusion that based on the fetal viability, women can terminate her pregnancy. But now with the coming technology, the time period for the fetal viability is decreasing. So this was happening, or this was in the practice, that in US women were aborting depending upon the certain circumstances. But recently when the Donald Trump came into power, he has appointed 2 judges which are conservative in the nature, and they have raised a new debate on American culture and has related this American culture with the Roe versus Wade judgment. And they were telling that women cannot go for the abortion. And accordingly, there was a law which was passed by Mississippi state. And that law was telling that women cannot go for abortion after 15 weeks. After 15 weeks. So because of the technology, the time period should increase. Today the women can go for the abortion till 34 weeks also. We have seen this in the Calcutta High Court judgment, that the Calcutta High Court judgment has allowed the women who was 37 years of age having 34 weeks of pregnancy, and Calcutta High Court has allowed her for abortion. It is because of the technology. So this law of Mississippi is being considered as retrograde law, or you can say that it is a law which is showing the backwardness in the law making activities in the US. Now this Mississippi law was challenged and the Supreme Court has upheld this, and because of this it is being said that it is the dark day for the US women with respect to her rights. So you have understood this Roe versus Wade judgment. Now we will see that what are the different laws in India. Okay. So law in India, as I told you, is MTP Act 1971. Okay. So this act allows that women can go for the pregnancy till 20 weeks only. Okay. Now there are different conditions. There may be a rape survivor. There may be the chance of grave injury to the women. There may be chance of physical or mental abnormalities in women. There may be a chance that the woman is pregnant and in the meanwhile his husband died and now she doesn't want to continue her pregnancy. These are the different questions on MTP Act 1971. Okay. So now as per this act, women cannot go for abortion after 20 weeks, no matter whether there is a grave injury to her life, whether there is an abnormalities in the child, where there is a change in her status because of the death of her husband, because of the rape survivor, nothing can happen. So many a times the matter went to the court. For example, Delhi High Court has allowed the women to go for the abortion looking into the serious injury to her life. Likewise, Kerala High Court has also allowed a rape survivor to go for abortion. Likewise, Calcutta High Court, as I was talking about, has allowed the women because of looking into the abnormalities in her child. So basically you can say that these are the different circumstances in which the court has to intervene. Clear? Now, many a times it has been realized that the court is intervening, so better to bring an amendment in MTP Act. And now MTP Act has been amended. So now even a unmarried women can also go for abortion. And this 20 weeks has been extended to 24 weeks. But it comes with certain rider. What is that rider? That if you want to go for abortion beyond 20 weeks or between 20 to 24 weeks, then you will have to take the advice of two persons comprising in the medical board. So if this medical board allows you, then you can go for abortion if you are meeting or if you are coming under any of the criteria discussed here. Now if you want to go for abortion after 24 weeks, then also it is possible. But in that case, 4 members will be comprising in the medical board and they will give a signal to go for the abortion, then you can go. Clear? So now, if the question comes in an examination, I will say that you will have to focus on certain keywords. That abortion is in the question, then you should remember this Lancet report as I was talking about. You should use the word reproductive rights of the women. Then you should use the word bodily integrity of the women and highlighting the privacy of the women. Then you can use SDG 5. These are the different keywords of the question coming on abortion. Clear? Now the question. Abortion is a private sphere where the state should not have its say. Discuss the challenges in making abortion as a matter of women's reproductive rights. This question is on tougher side, I will say. तुम्हें लग रहा होगा क्या लिख देंगे, पॉल साइंस वाले को और लग रहा होगा क्या है ये तो रेडिकल फेमिनिस्ट प्राइवेट स्फीयर वर्सेस पब्लिक स्फीयर, पर ऐसा है नहीं. ओके, the first part of the question does not hold too much significance. The second part of the question is significant here. But in this question again you will have to talk about the contextual definition of the contextual introduction if you want to give here. Then you can talk about MTP Amendment Act or you can talk about Roe versus Wade judgment as per जो तुम्हें याद हो एग्जाम में. Clear? Now you can define this. Abortion is a private sphere because it is a part of privacy of the women upheld under Article 21 of the and a state should not intervene. So you can have a little paragraph on your understanding that whether a state should intervene or not. So you can say that a state should not have any business in the regulation of the womb, but at the same time you will have to understand the harm principle, that you are harming the fetus just for the sake of, maybe there is a, देखो, abortion is not always bad or not always good, I will say. There should be an abortion, okay, if the woman is a rape survivor, if there are certain conditions that women should go for abortion. But if it becomes habit in this materialistic and the cosmopolitan world, then it has a serious consequences also. So you should say, or you should make a balanced approach in understanding that whether the state should intervene or not. After that, discuss the challenge. What are the different challenges in making abortion as a matter of women's reproductive rights? Very first thing, lack of political will. Lack of political will. Second is you can talk about patriarchy. Third thing, you can talk about socio-cultural custom. Fourth is talking about the debate between the fetus versus women's life. इस डिबेट में ये अपने आप में एक एथिकल डिबेट है और पॉलिसीज डिबेट भी है कि टू whom you are giving too much significance, either to a coming fetus or to the women. So most of the people will say कि सर अगर प्रॉब्लम है तो women can get pregnant again and can reproduce again. Why we are thinking about the fetus? But we have a cultures also at the same time. उस बच्चे में भी जान आ चुकी है. That is also one point which you can mention here. Okay, so these are the points or these are the challenges in making the abortion as a matter of women's reproductive right. Along with this, we are living in a communitarian life, community life. When the women get married, then the entire family is with her. Her in-laws are also there. Her husband is also there. So we have an institutions like this, which you can say it is very complex, but you can say that it is not a complex at the same time you can say it is not a complex. It is the institution of marriage which is very sacrosanct in case of India, and that is one of the challenge. तुम्हें पॉइंट बनाने हैं, उसी पॉइंट को कभी गलत बना दो, उसी पॉइंट को कभी सही बता दो. It depends upon your art. So these are the different challenges which you can mention in this particular question. Clear? So in this way we have completed this particular topic. Now we are coming to MGNREGA. So MGNREGA was in the news 3 days back, and why it was in news? It is because of National Mobile Monitoring Software. So I will just briefly discuss, because the question will not come from here. No, the question will not come from here. The question will come from the another part, that is MGNREGA in detail. You should know. Okay, MGNREGA in detail. So we will discuss that also. But yes, just I am talking about the National Mobile Monitoring Software. So this software is talking about the attendance of the worker. Attendance of worker. So this attendance will be geotagged attendance, and for that the women needs to come twice in a day at a site where the work is going on, and then through this particular software her attendance will be captured. Clear? So this is the National Mobile Monitoring Software. Understand? Now, after this, what is the issue? You can say, sir, this is very good because it is bringing transparency and everything. I will also agree to that. But at the same time, you will have to understand that the issue is rigidity of the time. The issue is rigidity. Nowadays, what we are witnessing, that the women are coming at the MGNREGA site till 9 AM or 10 AM. After completing the MGNREGA work, they are going for the another work. For example, they have the tea stall, just an example. So now they need to come twice. So the customers at the tea stall will not wait that the MGNREGA worker will come after completing her work there and will prepare tea for me. No. So because of this rigidity, it has been seen that the women's participation in MGNREGA works may get reduced. And the idea of MGNREGA, or one of the pillars of the MGNREGA, was women empowerment. This is the first problem, or the second problem you can say. Third problem is of MGNREGA myths. MGNREGA myths. Okay, MGNREGA myths. So what is this understanding of the MGNREGA myths? The MGNREGA Act says that there will be one women at the local level, and to empower that local level, the responsibility is on that women for the attendance and everything, and this is called NREGA myths. But because of the coming of this software, the only person who can be the myth is the person having the smartphone. So now the male members can only be the MGNREGA myths. This is the another problem with the mobile monitoring software. Now the question arises that where you will use this. You can use this as an issue or challenges of the MGNREGA. Clear? Now we will just talk about the MGNREGA in little bit detail. So we all know that the MGNREGA is based on the idea of demand driven and राइट बेस्ड अप्रोच. ये देखो कीवर्ड बता रहा हूं बस कीवर्ड बताना मेरा काम है. So whenever you will ask for the work, you will get the work because it is a demand driven and it is your right to ask for the work. And if you are not getting the work, then there is a compensatory allowances also at the rate of 0.15 wages per day. Then also there is an empowerment of the Gram Panchayat because Gram Panchayat will execute the work under MGNREGA. Then MGNREGA is talking about the use of technology for the salaries transfer or for the fund transfer from the central government to the state government and then to the local level panchayat. So this is a detailing of the MGNREGA. Now performance of the MGNREGA we will have to see. So at the time of COVID, we have seen the participation of approximately 11 crore of the people in the MGNREGA. 11 crore people. And that shows the significance of the performance of the MGNREGA. But I just want to quote the study by the Institute of Economic Growth. तुम भी यूज करना एग्जाम में, सब कोई सिंपल पॉइंट लिख सकता है. एंड द सेकेंड स्टडी बाय समोधी रिसर्च फाउंडेशन, सब कोई लिख सकता है पर ये बहुत कम कोई लिखेगा. समोधी रिसर्च फाउंडेशन. So there has been two different studies by one institute and another by NGO, and that is talking holistically about the performance of the MGNREGA. So this Institute of Economic Growth says that it is because of the MGNREGA we have seen rising food security and people are making an expenditure on the consumption of nutrition or nutritious items. Now the Samodhi Research Foundation says that it is because of the MGNREGA that a community infrastructure is being created and that is the pathway for the rural development. Along with this water crisis, it has been seen, or you can say Nalanda model of water conservation is one of the greatest or the significant model, and that is under MGNREGA. At the same time, it has been observed that because of the MGNREGA, migration has been stopped in the villages of Andhra Pradesh. So this is the performance of the MGNREGA. And looking into this performances, Odisha government have increased the 100 days of guaranteed work under MGNREGA to 200 days. At the same time, they have increased the money per day wages have also been increased. So this is the performance of the MGNREGA. Now we will talk about what is the critical issues here. So the very first critical issue you can talk about the software, which we were talking about, one of the issues. Then you can talk about the MGNREGA wage is not linked to minimum guaranteed wage, and that's why the people are getting less than the minimum wage also. Then it has been observed in the CAG report that the job card for all the people who are asking for the job has not been created, and it is against the mandate of MGNREGA, because MGNREGA says that once the person comes for the job, then job card must be set up for them. At the same time, fund from the center is coming to National Electronic Fund Management System, and from center it is coming to a state, but from a state to the panchayat it is going only when panchayat presents the attendance sheet of all the people. And there has been an observation that the panchayat is not sending the attendance sheet or job roles to the state government, and therefore fund is not coming on the time. Along with this, there has been an issue of asset creation. इस बरसात में ऐसा बोला जाता है, गर्मी में गड्ढा खोदो, बरसात में गड्ढा भर जाता है, या गर्मी में रोड बनाओ, बरसात में रोड बह जाता है. So asset creation, quality of the asset which is being constructed under MGNREGA is, look, these are the critical issues which you can mention in your answer. Clear? So in the suggestion you can give about the social auditing, already section 17 of the act talks about social auditing, but nobody is doing this. In barring the some state, nobody is doing this. So it is one of the suggestions. Along with this, you can say that the technology is good, but technology can give you result only when we focus on the network connection, because it has been seen in Jharkhand and Kerala that because of the poor network connection, people are not getting the job, people are not getting their attendance registered, people are not getting the ways. So this is the suggestions which you can give in this particular answer. Now there is one question. If you will see the syllabus of the governance, देखो क्या प्रॉब्लम है ना, न कहीं पढ़ाते हैं न तुम पढ़ते हो, तो सिलेबस को पढ़ना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो सिलेबस में है द डिजाइन ऑफ द स्कीम, एक वर्ड है सिलेबस में, ensures its effectiveness and ultimate success, substantiate in the light of MGNREGA. तो तुम डिजाइन ऑफ द स्कीम में क्या ही लिखोगे, मैं तुम्हें बता दे रहा हूं, आज के बाद ये सेट कर लेना. इंडिया में जितनी भी स्कीम है उसकी 3 डिजाइन है बस, और इतने कहीं नहीं मिलने वाला. 3 डिजाइन है, लेबर इंटेंसिव स्कीम, कैपिटल इंटेंसिव स्कीम और टेक्नोलॉजी इंटेंसिव स्कीम. बस मनरेगा लेबर इंटेंसिव, कैपिटल इंटेंसिव तुमको जो लगाना है स्वच्छ भारत लगा लो या जो भी लगाना है, टेक्नोलॉजी इंटेंसिव डिजिटल इंडिया, सारे स्कीम जो गवर्नमेंट की है ना वो 3 में कहीं ना कहीं सेट हो जाएगी. So basically the design of the scheme of the MGNREGA is labor intensive. Okay. After that you will talk about the design, that what is the design. Then you can talk about the design is right based, the design is demand driven, the design is women empowerment, because 57% of the women are in MGNREGA. टोटल वर्कर का 57% विमेन है. देन यू कैन टॉक अबाउट एम्पावरिंग और कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग ऑफ ग्राम पंचायत, यूज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, दो दिस इज द डिजाइन एंड दैट एंश्योर्स इट्स सक्सेस. एट द सेम टाइम आफ्टर दैट यू कैन मेंशन सम ऑफ द इश्यूज एंड देन यू कैन मेंशन द. ओके, सो इन दिस वे वी हैव कंप्लीटेड 3 important and probable mains topic, and PDF for these 3 topics are provided, and in the next video again I will come with 2 or 3 important topics and will discuss with you. Okay, and today also we are releasing some polity based, you can say the polity based module of like the governance notes we have released last week. So today or day after tomorrow, or tomorrow you can say, we are releasing the polity notes also for mains 2022. And I hope you have read the governance notes and you will find that it is going to benefit you in the examination. Likewise, I have personally prepared this polity based notes which will come today or tomorrow most probably. Okay. So thanks to all of you.